Hello everybody and welcome to another Minecraft Disney Q&A. I'm here at Epcot with my little Q&A crew, and we're going to go walk around Epcot, and I'm going to answer some questions that you guys submitted through comments, through Twitter, through things like that. So let's just jump right in, why don't we, as we walk through Future World. Our first question comes from CC99 Plays Minecraft, who asks, "Hey Rob, what do you think of Disney novels like Kingdom Keepers? I enjoy Kingdom Keepers, but I've not heard about other Disney novels doing as well as this one. Huge fan. Thanks for answering my question about Tower of Terror and Mumble as well." I have not read Kingdom Keepers. I'm guilty of not reading them. I'm interested in reading them. I just never get around to it. I'm always usually reading something else. Disney's all about story. Every attraction has a story. Even the resorts have stories. Everything here has a story. So I think coming up with a story just for the parks in general that works in the parks in general is really cool and exciting. And, you know, it's more of a, I guess, a young adult novel series, and seeing, you know, young people, enjoy reading is always great. And I think it helps them enjoy the parks, and it's also a great outlet of, you know, enjoying the parks. I'm somebody who lives in New York. I don't get to go to Disney very often. You know, I go every handful of years, and I love Disney. So how do I get that fix? Is a large part of it's, you know, podcasts. A big part of it now is making these videos, but another big part of it is reading about Disney a lot. You know, that's what I would start to do, is I would look into Disney books. And for me, my personal interests were always in like the historical stuff, like the making of, but it was totally my way of just getting a Disney fix while I couldn't be at Disney. And I think Kingdom Keepers can be that for a lot of people. And I think it's a really cool idea, and I would imagine there's got to be talks internally about a movie one day. Who knows? Maybe not. I'll hopefully one day get to reading them. Next question comes from Kevin Clinky, who asks, "Hey Rob, I have a question. Will the Magic Kingdom close on Christmas Day just like last year? If so, what is your opinion?" So I think there might be a little bit of a misunderstanding there. So the Magic Kingdom closed for Disney, but it wasn't... The parks don't close for Christmas. Did I say for Disney? The parks don't close for Christmas as in, well, it's Christmas Day, we're not open, go home everybody. What they mean is they close it to additional guests because on these holidays, attendance is so high that they reach their capacity and they can no longer allow anybody in. I think they call them like rolling closures or something. So it's not like, you know, you can't come to Disney, go home. It's just more like you ain't get there in time. There's no more space left. We're closed in that sense. Do I think they'll get there that year? I think so. I think a lot of the major holidays, they end up happening to hit that at some point or another. The only time I ever experienced it personally is I was in Disney for New Year's for the turn of the century for 2000. And that was closed because it was at capacity. I had to stay at like 10 or 11 in the morning. It was like way, way early in the day. And we were there so we could get in early, which made it tough staying up till midnight. But yeah, probably. In my opinion, it's for safety reasons. It becomes unsafe if you put too many people in this space, and then it becomes a bad experience because the lines get too bad and they run out of food and all these things. So as much of a bummer as it could be for people who end up just a little too late and they end up not making the cut, it's for the betterment of just the experience for everybody. And it's why it's important, if you're going to Disney during a holiday, plan extra early, because it is a totally different beast than going on every other day. Good question, though. Next question comes from, I like this one, Limey Leopard. This was a good one. It was fun to look up. How much money did all the different parks cost? So I looked it up. It is an academic paper, too, so I trust this source. And it was based on, like, it was all about the cost of all the theme parks, like the major theme parks, I think, in the U.S. From like the 50s to today. But the budget for building the Magic Kingdom up until when it originally opened, look at that, they undo my work and then they redo it. I love them. Was $320 million. Now that one's a tougher one to figure out and to suss out because Disney World as a whole opened at once. So you had the Magic Kingdom, you had the Contemporary, like you had more of an infrastructure involved there than sort of just one additional theme park. but $320 million in the 70s. Epcot, now this one was way over budget, ended up costing Disney $1.2 billion. That's expensive. Think about it. That's what? That's almost 4 Magic Kingdoms in cost alone. And a lot went into that, and it was just a very long project, took a long time, but yep. Hollywood Studios opened up with a cost of $400 million, so there you go. It was a lot smaller. You have to remember, Epcot, I mean, this park is way bigger than the Magic Kingdom. Hollywood Studios, on the other hand, when it opened up, it was widely considered, and it was intended to be a half-day park. They wanted to give you that extra. Eisner had the idea that if you added that half-day park, they'd spend the other half doing other things, golf, water parks, whatever, and then the most important thing is you would stay an extra day, and they'd get that extra hotel money out of you. So when it initially opened, it wasn't meant to be like this full-fledged experience like it is today. So, and that, of course, it doesn't account for things like Rock and Roller Coaster or Fantasmic or Tower of Terror. Like, a lot of that was added on over the years. And then finally, the Animal Kingdom cost Disney $800 million, and that was a big one too. And you always have to realize with things like this, like, size plays a big important role into it, because you have to have the infrastructure underneath, power, plumbing, water, that sort of stuff. You know, something like the Animal Kingdom probably costs a lot because there are way more safety precautions involved. Maybe not as expensive in the realm of rides and safety because there weren't as many rides, but, you know, you're hosting a lot of animals, and, you know, Disney was very important about making sure they were serious about animal conservation, treating the animals right, and there was probably a lot of operating costs dedicated to that and setting it up so it was a safe environment for all of those animals. But man, Epcot, $1.2 billion. It was very big. And remember, when Epcot opened, it was Epcot Center. And it was called Epcot Center because the idea was it was going to be the center of Epcot, the city. Because at that point, they still insisted, yes, we were making Walt's Epcot, and this park in the center with the World's Fair and the attractions, this was just going to be the middle point. It was going to be Epcot Center. So I think that might have played a part in why Epcot the city never ended up happening, is because the center alone cost so much money. And got to remember, at that point in the early 80s, Disney was not the mega corporation it is today that just had tons and tons of money. In fact, it was at risk of getting hostily taken over and split up and sold off. So, you know, you have to consider that. Anyway, fantastic question. Love questions like that. Okay, our next question comes from Andrew Cillier, who asks, who asks, I was wondering if you could turn one ride into a movie that they haven't made into a movie yet. Which ride would it be, and who would you choose as your cast and director? He being as rad as Danny Tanner's dad. Good question. I was initially going to pose this to Christine, but she wasn't available to film this. Horizons. That was way easier than I thought it'd be. Horizons. Who would I want? So Gore Verbinski's really cool. Gore Verbinski's the guy who did the Pirates of the Caribbean trilogy. He makes really fun movies. I think you could get Jon Favreau, who directed the Iron Man movies. He does a lot of really fun movies. I mean, I don't know what a Horizons movie would be about, but I just love Horizons, so that would be my answer by default. I think sci-fi could be done really well by, I don't know. It really depends on the sort of movie it would be. If it's an adventure movie, you want someone like a J.J. Abrams. You want someone like a Jon Favreau. If it's more of a character piece, you want somebody who's just really good at writing. So I can't pick a director or a cast because I don't know what that story would be, but I know Horizons, I would want that movie. That would be really cool. Or just a movie that takes place in the Horizons setting, you know, with Brava Centauri and Seabase Alpha and all that stuff. Mesa Verde. That'd be a lot of fun. Our next question, and our final question this week, actually, comes from Jakey Jurin, who asks, what are your thoughts on Walt before Mickey? So if you haven't heard, there's an indie film coming out called Walt Before Mickey, and it is about, as the name implies, Walt Disney before the Mickey Mouse era. So it's about when he was working on Oswald and the Laugh-O-Grams, and just from childhood up until that sort of Mickey Mouse point. And if you go to waltbeforemickey.com, you can watch the trailer. Whew, what do I think about it? Oh boy, how to tiptoe around this one. I am a big Disney fan. I'm a big Walt Disney fan. I've read the books about him. I will watch movies about him. I'll even watch Walt Before Mickey. And I'll probably buy the movie and watch it when it comes out. It's going straight to DVD. That said, the trailer really has me thinking this is going to be a bad movie. It's a neat idea. The casting's weird. You have Jodie Sweetin, who is Stephanie Tanner from Full House, playing Walt's aunt. You have one of the kids from American Pie playing Walt. You have Napoleon Dynamite playing Roy Disney. So it's weird casting. The writing and the acting seems super cheesy. But you know what? That could, in all honesty, just be a poorly made trailer, which is why I'll give it the benefit of the doubt, and I'll check it out, and I'll watch it. And when I do watch it, I'll give you guys my thoughts. But that trailer did not sell me on it. Do not expect something on the budget of, Saving Mr. Banks or anything like that. The other thing is it's Walt Before Mickey. So if you're a big Disney fan and you want to know about the Disney and Disneyland and all the, Cinderella and the Snow White as the first animated film, I don't think any of that's going to be in the movie because it's all about his life up until that point. But if it gets people reading or interested about Walt's life, then I'm all for it. So there you have it. Another group of questions answered. Another group following me around. We're having fun here in Epcot. We did a whole tour. I like doing the jog around the World Showcase. If you have a question for me, all you have to do is ask in the comments below. I try to get to as many of them as possible. On Twitter, I'm at Rob Plays. I'm on Facebook and Instagram at Rob Plays That Game. Have a great week, guys. Whatever you're doing, make the most of it because it makes it so much better. Thank you guys for following me around. And thank you guys for watching. Have a great week, and I will see you next time for the next Minecraft Disney Q&A.